Good morning, traders. So we're still using the Bill-Williams theory, and what exactly do we have to do with the Dow Jones today? So yesterday was not quite what I was expecting. So anyway, I did get in and got stopped out pretty well. And I think what we need to do here is just take note of a few things. So the first one is obviously the 200 daily EMA here, okay? And we've tagged it and we've breached it, so I'm pretty much going to line up with the next inside tail. I also want to just get a Fibonacci on this. Okay, so 61.8 retracement would be pretty much at this next inside tail. Okay, if we look to the left, we'll see there's sort of an attempt at it there. There's inside tail, here's an inside tail, there's an inside tail, there's another attempt at it, there's another almost inside tail, same there, same there, same there, same there, and the story goes on and pretty much there as well. So I would say that that is a fairly significant level, and if we just have a look on the monthly, I think sometimes, yep, there's an inside tail on the monthly and there. Okay, so that is a fairly strong level. And I think last look at this on the weekly, just see what else we can pick up. 2, 3, a little bit there, 4. Okay, so that is a fairly strong level. Okay, now the big thing at play here is if we look at the 4 hour, you'll see we've broken through the 4 hour 200 EMA. Okay, we are within a decent retracement, being the 61.8 and the 50. So that has been a fairly good retracement. And so from the 4 hour perspective, there's a very good very strong possibility that this is a trend change. This breakthrough, these fractal levels here, well, this fractal level, not both of them, which is below the red line, which is the teeth of the Bill-Williams, would trigger a short. Okay, now, you know, I'll say quite often V reversals are rare. This right here is a V reversal at the moment. So I would have expected at least a pullback to come and test the highs and then a fall over. But yeah, this just goes to show what how emotional the market is. You know, over the weekend, Trump comes out to say that there's a trade war deal. China stays quiet. People start getting worried. And then, lo and behold, this morning, what does China say? Oh, they think they can reach a deal. So take your pick. Either manipulate it or just emotional, and the Chinese are trying to quell the emotional fear. Anyway, I think I want to come back to daily here because there is another thing that we need to just be very aware of. So yesterday I pointed out this trend line that had broken, and we've pulled back into it. Okay, but the key thing here is high, lower high, lower high. And at this stage, it's looking like a fractal, but we have to wait for today's daily to form. Okay, so what are we actually saying? So the other, what we are looking at here is sort of something like that. Okay, now this trend line here, we could pretty much just adjust it so that we have that view there. And there is another view that you've got here from this tail across like that. Okay, so that's kind of the view. Bottom line is it's high, lower, a low, higher, low. Okay, with diversions here, and you can see we had the double top here. Now, I think one thing to point out here is, and I did say this early in the week, this grouping up here on the daily always triggers a turn. Okay, so even if I go back in time here, we get up here on the daily, it comes back. We get up on the daily, we have a pullback. Okay, so we're getting a pullback every time. Sometimes it stays there for a couple of days, but then we do get a few days of pullback and then pullback. But this year has really been, every time we come into this area, we're there for a day or two and then we retrace. Okay, so what is it we're going to be doing today? So this is where you've got to be very brave. Okay, and you've got to park your emotions properly, because what's going to happen here is most of us are going to look at this and say, this is over, this market's falling. Okay, but in essence, it's not. Okay, so this is really it's just fear that's coming into the market. If you look at what happened on the hour, so we grouped up here, which was, and it was also a wedge that I've spotted yesterday. It was at this point where I moved my stop. Okay, so we sort of had this wedge. I was expecting a play out to come and close the gap. We didn't quite close it. We then missed it again, and then we accelerated through it like no yesterday. So ultimately, you would have expected us to find some support at the swing high, and we didn't. All right, and we broke through this consolidation range again, which is fairly telling. So if you look at this, there is a consolidation phase. Here is another consolidation phase. Okay. And lo and behold, what do you see now? Another consolidation phase. Okay, so this could very well sort of consolidate to come back and test this break, which I think would be the most logical thing. So rally a bit, come back and test this area here, all the 1 hour 200 EMA, and then continue falling off. So at this stage, we have a change in direction on the hour to the downside. Okay, now, what are our targets to the downside? So there are a few things here which kind of worries me a little bit. So the first one obviously is this level here. Okay, so this is 24937. Okay, we have crossed over the zero here on the awesome oscillator, and bear in mind I'm on the daily, so this is a fairly strong signal that we have some bullish action. And we're going to look at the ichimoku now just to see what's happening there, because that'll also give us a little bit more information. Okay, so for now, I would expect us to find some resistance here. However, the area that I am watching would pretty much be this level here of 24937. Okay, so in other words, what I'm expecting is some more downside, but I'm expecting us to come and tag this level. And then what you can do is you can see that level pretty much lines up with a couple of inside bars here. So I would also take the ones to the downside, so around there, 24878, and then this big one here is definitely this big pin bar here. That's definitely something to watch as well. Okay, so if I go to the hour, let's just double check what we have here. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of the zone that I'd be looking at. And I mean, there are so many inside tails at the moment on the hour. If I draw them all in, we are going to look quite messy. So I think the reality, what I'm looking for here is another move to the downside, but we should find support somewhere in here. So somewhere between 24937 and 24689 or 24690. Okay, so how do you do this? So if you are sitting short on this, there's no reason to get out. I think that's the important thing. The level that you need to watch is pretty much retest of this area here, okay, which would be a retest of the 200 EMA. Okay, so 24222, that's the area you need to watch for a retest. So what I'm expecting is a bit more of this, and then another move to the downside. So we could also just take a measured move here, potential, although I don't think it's going to go that far, bearing in mind that we have a very strong weekly level here. Okay, so this level of 24937 is a very strong weekly level. So that is the one that I'd watch first. So basically I would be looking for that to take profit and then wait and see. Okay, so let's just get rid of all the noise. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Let's have a quick look at the ichimoku before I close off. Okay, so the ichimoku is such an interesting strategy, because if you have a look here, as I pointed out yesterday, we'd had a crossover on the hour which indicates bearish. Okay, the cloud was still green, but then we got a twist in the cloud. Now we got a twist in the cloud pretty much 26, so would have been around there. Let me just come back 26 periods. With this bar. So this bar here was a break through the cloud. We've already got this twist here. This is below price, Kijinson, Chiku span, and we had a twist here. So those are three bearish signals, and you can see accelerated down to the bottom. Okay, now you would have been forgiven expecting just a gap close. I mean, that's exactly what I was expecting. And the other thing that I was expecting was this. Okay, so I've basically got in long here because we on the bottom of the challenge. Had my stop below this level to start with, and then when I saw luckily I'd actually watched it and saw the crash through and got out of it. So anyway, now what we have is a bearish crossover. We are in price, we're not below price at the moment, and the cloud is green. Okay, now if we come back to the weekly level, or sorry, the daily level that we're trying to follow, that's it there. Yeah. Okay, so you'll see on the daily that doesn't line up with anything except for this little bit of flat cloud here. Okay, and then on the 4 hour, you'll notice that it's fairly close to the bottom of the cloud. Okay, now remember what I always say is, when we break through the cloud, it's very rare for us not to come back and test the cloud. And so that is still the area that I would expect some profit taking to happen, and it's also an area that I would be willing to look for a long. Now, the only concern with this, looking at the 4 hour, is that this cloud is, in this area, the cloud is pretty thin. So the chances of it breaking through the cloud are pretty strong. Okay, so ideally what we're looking for now, if we were just trading a strategy, is we're looking for a retest of the cloud. So anything around here, we look for some positive candle, and then we enter on the top of that candle. Okay, so it could be a pattern like this. You see there's a wedge here and a break of the wedge. So that could be your signal. Alternatively, it could just be a single bar like this pin bar. But that's kind of how you'd be trading the ichimoku. Okay, so that's why I'm saying this level here is pretty strong. It lines up with this flat bit of cloud here, which is a fairly strong resistance level. We are above a cloud, which is strong as well. So that's kind of my take on this at the moment, is looking for this area here, which is a 61.8 as well, and then looking to get back in long. Okay, if we do break through the cloud, then I suppose we'll need to start looking at shorts again. And lastly, on the daily, you can see how we broke through the cloud. Again, you always expect a pullback, and the telling signal here was the fact that Kijun and Tekun on the daily, they came together, but they never really touched or crossed, but then they've gone flat. So flat with flash cloud on the daily, that is indecision range, and bear in mind we do have non-farm payrolls on Friday. Okay, so that's my view on this today. Just go back to Bull Williams, and those are the areas that I'm looking for. So we've got the 200 moving average where we are at the moment. Then we have this fairly strong level, which lines up with a lot of things. Okay, and that's the area that I'd be looking to take profit if I was short. But for me, that's an area I'll be looking to go long. Okay, so, and even if it is a long back to retest this breakout here, or even a better scenario would be to come and test that breakout up there, which would test the Bull Williams alligator. Okay, so that's my take of this at the moment. Nothing else that I can see. If you are short, hang in there a bit, just tighten that stop, and expect some profit taking around 249.50, 249.40, somewhere in that area. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me. Catch up with you later. Cheers for now.